tonight. Today was the Nevada State Republican Convention. It was full of action and excitement. News 4's Dora Scheidel has been at John Asquaga's Nugget all day long, where the convention is still going on. Dora, what's happening down there?
Hi, Brian. I'm here in front of John Asquaga's Nugget in Sparks, where Nevada's Republican Convention is underway as we speak. You could say the fear of a contentious convention came true, despite pleas from Republican leaders early on asking everyone to play nice and follow the rules. The first conflict happened when a woman from Clark County stood up and claimed that the Romney camp was actually passing out fake Ron Paul slates. Here's a look at the real Ron Paul slate. You can tell that it's real because it's printed on both sides. The fake one was only printed on one side. It also actually misspelled the name of Ron Paul's campaign manager, Carl Bunce. The second conflict happened when Ron Paul supporters realized that the rules weren't being upheld, and more than 400 delegates were actually allowed to register after the 9 a.m. deadline. And luckily, after the lunch break, Republican leaders came back and actually admitted that they had miscounted the preliminary delegation count, and that sort of solved the problem in that case. But probably the highlight for everyone, at least for Ron Paul supporters, was when Ron Paul came to the podium. He was greeted with a standing ovation and then delivered about a 15-minute speech touting his platforms. Here's what he had to say about maintaining the status quo.
Status quo has been, no matter whom we elect, it seems to stay the same. The wars stay the same, the Federal Reserve stay the same. They want people to challenge this, challenge the status quo, challenge the bailouts, and challenge the Federal Reserve System as well.
I'm joined now by News 4 political host John Ralston to get his take. John, what do you think about the convention thus far?
Well, it's pretty much what we expected. The Ron Paul folks tried to assert themselves. They hope to have 2/3 of the delegates, but as you mentioned, when those 400 additional delegates were allowed in, they only probably have a slight edge, if any edge at all. We're going to find out just what kind of edge they have. The real balloting that matters is going on now. Right now they're voting for the Republican National Committeeman and Committeewoman, and soon the national delegate slates. All across the country, the Ron Paul folks are trying to stack delegate slates where they can. For what reason, to what end, it's hard to tell, because Mitt Romney is still the presumptive nominee.
Great. Thank you so much, John. And now to get sort of the other side, we're joined now by conservative commentator Elizabeth Crum from our Las Vegas station. Elizabeth, what's your take on what's been happening so far?
Yeah, I don't disagree with anything John said. We spent a lot of the day with motions, counter motions, seconds, and all kinds of speechifying going on, a lot of parliamentary procedure type issues, which I think goes over the heads of most voters. Ultimately, what we're seeing here is, as we expected, sort of a split between the Ron Paul contingent and the Romney contingent, taking issue with pretty much every issue that comes down the pike.
Great. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. And there you have it, some political analysts to give you the latest. We will bring you much more about the voting for the delegates right now, coming up on News 4 at 6. Reporting live from Nevada's Republican Convention, I'm Dora Scheidel. Brian, back to you.
All right, Dora, thanks. Meanwhile, Governor Brian Sandoval attended the Defending Freedom Red Rock Memorial today in Las Vegas. This event is to honor Gold Star families of Nevada during an annual dedication. The governor decided to attend this event rather than appear at the GOP state convention in Sparks. The governor said he wanted to be at the convention today, but he had committed to attending this Las Vegas event several months ago.
And I'm an unapologetic supporter of the men and women of our military and the families and everything they've gone through. You know, I had a privilege of going to Afghanistan, Iraq, and Kuwait and seeing our 422nd Signal Battalion of the men and women of the National Guard in action. And I just feel like if there are things that I can do to help the men and women of our military, I'm going to do it.
The governor also signed an executive order to help military families in our state. It would help those who are licensed professionals in other states cut through the red tape in getting licenses in Nevada.